Good morning. You're welcome to another edition of Import Export Platform Facebook Live from 3Think Trade Academy. My name is Dele Ayimibo, and I've been off in the evening for a while, and I'm coming late again today. Sorry for my inconsistency. I've been engaged in a number of other stuff that's taking my time. But what I've made up my mind to do is, even if I need to just do one instead of the usual two, let's still ensure that something is done every day for people to be able to have access to information that will help them to be able to achieve their dream of becoming an exporter. So today we are continuing on our discussion on export, starting and managing export business, and today we are looking at planning. We have looked at preamble. We have looked at product, and today we are looking at planning, and we are basically going to demonstrate what we think should be part of your plan in order to be able to make the business a success. What we think should be part of your plan in order to be able to make the business a success. Delivering safe. Now, I'll be looking for this from the perspective of food-related item. Delivering safe, high-quality food to a national market require process and procedural control throughout the supply chain, and also adequate mechanism to certify to the buyer and government regulator that such control are effective. The whole idea in planning that we're discussing is looking at regulation, regulatory issue at the personal level, industry level, regional level, national level. In planning, there is need to plan to ensure that the quality of the product is good enough. Some people are so keen on packaging at the expense of the quality. If you focus only on content, on container, at the expense of the content, of course the container will attract the people, but the content is what keeps them. The container will attract the people to buy, but they will only buy once. They will only buy once because container attracts, content keeps. Container attracts, content keeps. So if you fail to improve on your content, the people might buy once, they might be disappointed, they will simply not buy again. They will simply not buy again. They will buy once, get disappointed, and not buy again. Why? Content and container. Content and container. So it's extremely important that at the end of the day, you ensure that you don't just take care of, when you're talking about quality management, we're looking at the quality of the production, quality of the processes, quality of the packaging, and in some cases, as agreed with the buyer. Sometimes it's your decision on the quality you want to use and begin to sell. The public sector has played a significant role in the development of implementation and enforcement of agricultural safety standards and regulations, coordination with national organization on harmonization of standards and regulation, surveillance, foodborne diseases, consumer education, training, extension, and research. So, public sector is likely involved in this. Why? They are the custodian of the people. They are the one in charge of the people, and they take responsibility for what the people eat. So, it's very important for us to understand the fact that quality standard is what moves and determines the progress and success of a business. When quality is good and packaging is good, other things will begin to come in like culture. But at the lowest or basest level, quality standard is extremely, extremely important. Quality standard is extremely, extremely key. And it's so strange, very, very strange, that people want to do business and not take quality seriously. In fact, some will even go to the extent of lowering the quality if the quality was initially high to be able to maximize profit. And I ask, so what's the use of a product you have that people are buying but they're not getting value? Instead of praying for you and thanking God for you, that says something else about the product they're buying. The responsibility of food quality management in practice usually fall to the private sector at the level of trade association or agro enterprise, where these assess and manage risk in response to market and regulatory requirements. The responsibility of food and quality management in practice fall on the private sector. The reason why I fall on the private sector is that they are the one consuming, and more often than not, they are the one to dictate the way they want what they are eating or what they are buying to use, where they want it to be designed, as long as it doesn't fall short of the standard that the government have encountered. So, for example, on a broader scale, the cost, logistics, and technical expertise required to effectively control quality, even within a specific commodity subsector, are usually not within the range of government. So the people, to a large extent, own the quality, because it's not enough for the government to just impose. In fact, the government, a serious and wise government, will not impose. What would they do? They seek collaboration with the private sector and say, okay, this is our safety standard for this particular product. Safety standard for this particular product. So, it is what the consumer dictates eventually that the government will have to work with. That's why they must consult and know, okay, in what form do you want this product? Is this product good enough the way it is? How do you want it exactly? How do you want it exactly? That's exactly what this is supposed to be about. Over time, the consumer tell us the way they want the product to be. Over time, the consumer will tell and what happens is the stakeholder who produce sometimes will not take it upon themselves as a responsibility to ensure they entrain that quality to be able to maximize profit. And sometimes all of them will do it together. All of them will do it together. I mean, when I mean all of them, I mean all the people within the same industry. So I'm saying this so that when you begin to produce any product, you are looking for people in your industry. What are they saying about the product? What is their take and what are they doing? Is there any collaboration that they are seeking already that you can leverage on? Nevertheless, developing countries' government can fulfill some critical roles. Number one, help to design and deliver an educational component. So the government is to help to design and deliver the educational component. Because at the end of the day, the enforcement also will come from the government. The enforcement will come from the government. Promote a sound regulatory policy, licensing and certification. Like I said, this is typically in conjunction with the client. So typically in conjunction with the for effective, sorry, I have a bring time. Someone is trying to call me. For effective response to food safety crisis, because it will happen, and government take the lead in helping to respond to that. Support testing facilities and reasonable access to them. Now, in the course of doing this, I need to state some things. Like the last statement I made, support testing facilities and reasonable access to them. That's a major challenge. That's a major challenge. The government tends to educate, design the components, educational component, and I'm talking about now food industry, NAFDAC in the case of Nigeria. They promote sound regulatory policy, licensing and certification, develop mechanism for effective response to food safety, and support testing facility and reasonable access to them. And the reason for doing that is to be able to ensure that the health of the citizenry is a priority. The health of the citizenry is a priority. That's the whole essence. Control single source contamination, that is pest in imported product. Single source contamination. So, one of the things government needs to do in Nigeria is to provide more facility centers where analysis can be done easily. And this is a major challenge for product and commodity export in Nigeria, because analysis cannot be, it's not easily, you can't easily locate places to be able to do analysis. For quality management to be successful, it typically requires simultaneous attention to several areas like education, grades, standard, management, and practice. Although certain quality goods can be imposed as regulation, achieving quality is most successful when the impetus to do so comes from shareholders themselves. Although certain quality control can be imposed as regulation, achieving quality is more successful when the impetus to do so comes from the stakeholder themselves. You know, typically government is the one that will chasing them up and down to do what is right. But when the stakeholder are the one saying, government, this is what we want. This is what we want. Become effective. In my own case now, I'm looking at it from export perspective. You say, this is what we want, that's great. And it should be that you are looking for opportunity outside. You are looking for opportunity outside. And that informs the reason why you are saying you want to adhere to the right quality standard as a people in that industry. Another standard is legal standard. We talk about quality standard, which government should help set up in conjunction with the private sector and then implement. Legal standard. Legal standards are commonly established by national government and generally related to safety. This standard are often mandatory and represent minimum standard of quality and safety. The major purpose of this is to ensure that products are not adulterated or not abhorred by contamination. The major purpose of this process is to ensure that products are not adulterated and do not harbor dangerous contamination. This might involve undesirable microorganisms, insect, fields, pesticide, and potential toxic additive. And this can also include labeling standard or acid level in the canned food. Consumer standard. Another important standard for standardization relates to the information presented to the consumer. In this case, it is not the product itself, but rather its description that must conform to a particular standard. Much effort has been devoted to harmonizing labeling information, and very large market segments do have common requirements. I'll continue in the evening as I talk about the industry standard, international standard. Then I will also talk about, okay, let me do this too. Then I will start in the evening with the good agricultural practice, which is called GAP, Global GAP. Industry standard. These are sometimes set by organized industry association in order to establish a reliable identity for a particular product. Normally, such standards become effective because the majority of the producers agree to them. They are seldom related to safety, but more it has characteristics, quality, which the industry feels is useful to set up, useful to establish credibility for the market. Products such as wheat, peanut, established by industry, and these standards are commonly referred to as commodity standard or standard of identity, industry standard. Then, with over 180 national members, That's International standard now. The Codex Alimentarius Commission is the most widely recognized international body that sets food standard. Others include the Office of International Des Epizootis and International Plant Protection Convention. And the dual purpose of Codex is to protect the health of consumers and to ensure fair trade in food. So I'll continue in the evening as I talk about the good agricultural practice. Remember, we're still discussing start and managing export business, and we're on part 17 today, and we'll look at part 18 later in the day. Thank you very much for listening. Have a good day at work, and bye for now.